welcome, wonderful people. Thank you for being here again with us today and this exciting message that is so important that we must get out today. In fact, we're late, a long time coming to get it out. So let's get it out. Let's start today because this is something that we need to talk about more and more and more each and every day. And that is the spirit of adultery. Yes, thou shalt not commit adultery. But then when you say adultery, well, like I'm not married and therefore I'm not to commit adultery. But before Jesus came off that cross and rose from the dead, it was like adultery was called married people. You know, if he cheated, she cheated, and they divorced, it was an adultery. But today, if you desire, look at somebody and say, ooh, look at there. You have committed adultery if you desire to lust after her or either a lust after him. So we're going to talk today a little bit more about the why. Why do we cheat? And if we really look at it, it is so many different elements, so many different things about cheating that we sometimes we forget. We just pass it off and pass it on and all this sort of stuff, not knowing if we're going to come and barking at the moon sometime. But then we must stop to take it more serious than before, because cheating been around for a minute. I mean, like long minute, and we've been doing things that not right, and then we've lost the value of the morality and morals of the situation, because today I say cheating and um, coming on infidelity, all this stuff to come about today. It's like a normal thing. We lost the value of our morals. We lost the place that it's become so common today. You know what I mean? Well, this is society different than the old days. Okay, it's different. Yeah, of course. But how about the rules? How about the law? How about the situation? How about the emotion? How about the mentality? About all these things that come about? How about the trust, the vows, the hope? All right. So that the confidence, these things come about that says that if you break these things, if you disrupt these things, disagree with them, disrespect them, there is consequences. And since there are consequences, well, we have to like look at it in a different perspective, different way. All right. So now it's like, okay, how are we gonna handle this? How are we gonna assess this thing? You know what I mean? Because after all, we have denormalized it. It's not, have normalized it. I mean, all right, normalize infidelity, cheating, betrayal. It's like we don't realize that the consequences and the hurt that's that come with this and associated with it. So we want to know a little bit more about why. Why would a person go outside the relationship, outside the marriage, and then just plain old cheat? I said not only just cheat, but when we're talking about adultery, I'm sorry to say, people, and I hope that you take it with a grain of sand, take it with a heart that says, okay, been there, done that, did that. And then I say, I'm sorry for it. Or either I had a good time, but now I realize that what I did was wrong. And that is fornication. No sex before marriage. If there was a reason for that, and then like, well, why should I be worried about not having sex before marriage? Because it's part of our moral situation, part of a gift that was given to us, a part of an altar symbolism. It's like how you say you go to the altar, you make a vow, and you like sacrifice. That is, and that's what that is. When the lady made a mistake, not a mistake, but a bad judgment in the Garden of Eden, that they said that, well, we hid ourselves because we were naked, right? And so the Most High God had to go kill an animal, have a blood sacrifice, and cover that nakedness with an animal skin. So, and that wasn't too happy, because it says also in some of the scriptures he that he does not like doing it. All right, he goes against that, the sacrifice. And that's one of the reasons why, when Jesus came along, he also got rid of the blood sacrifice. So therefore, we don't have to go out and kill a pigeon, kill a lamb, a sheep, goat, whatever we want to do as a sacrifice for our sin. We can cut our hearts right here, right here, right here, right now. Say, I'm sorry, please forgive me, I'm on the way. So that covers the multitude of sins. So the fornication, adultery, which goes into unfaithfulness, betrayal, infidelity, cheating. All of it in the same room, the same situation, same box, right? So now we want to know, why would a person, after men a vow, saying, I love and cherish, obey, to death do us part, good time, bad time, sickness and health, all that good stuff, right? And then next thing you know, something go wrong. Next thing you know, it's like, oh, my brother was seen with this woman in the car with him where about 3 o'clock in the morning, and it wasn't his wife. Either this girl that I know, this lady that I know, she's mother of so and so and so and so, and we saw her at the club, and there were about 3 guys talking to her, and she walked out the door with 2 guys, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So we hearing these things, we seeing these things, and then we hearing these stories. And speaking of stories, I don't want to ruin your situation right quick, but let's talk about a story that is heavy on our heart today, right? A couple that's been married for a minute, about 4, 5, 6 years, something like that. And then they've been loving each other, working hard, trying to get their family together, but no children yet. And it's like bill paying down. He's working hard. He's going, all these good things, right? So what happened is that he had a feeling to go home early one day. Like, I think it was like second shift. Yeah, second shift or something like that, right? But he came home early. I mean, real early, right? Like, he went to work, only stayed there not too long, a few minutes. Then it's like, I'm taking off, right? Okay. So he took off. He came home. Lo and behold, his wife was in the bed with a friend of theirs. And they were in the business. I mean, they were going to it, right? Because he's not supposed to be home until around 10, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, something like that, right? And it's still early. So anyway, he walks in the room. Wow, they were busy. She looks up and she sees him, and the guy, she had to pat him on the back like, hey, look around, right? So he looks around, wow. So she was like, oh my God. So she couldn't say anything. The guy didn't say anything either, because he, immediately gets up. But the guy, the husband, stand there for a few minutes. I guess he watched for a minute or two before they recognized that he was there. And he just turned around, closed the door, went downstairs into the living room, sitting room, however you want to call it, turned the TV on and watched some gospel. Like, I guess played videos, something like that. So that was it for him. So the guy that was upstairs with his wife came down, said, "Man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You know, I didn't mean to sleep with your wife." He said, "It happens sometimes, man. It happens." And that's all he said. So he just stayed downstairs and got to watch, finished watching the video or something. So about 10 o'clock, something like that. What time he usually get home, by 10:15, 10:30. He decided, like, well, I'm tired of watching videos. I'm not going to even eat today. I'm just going to bed. So he went to his room to go to bed. And she was on the floor crying. I mean, crying because she never came out of the room because of the guilt and the shame. Because they had been talking earlier, like say maybe during the course weeks or something like that earlier, during that time, the month or whatever, and talking about the relationship and how how much they love each other and all this stuff. So we want to know what happened. But anyway, after the husband just said, took his clothes off, changed clothes, whatever, you put his pajamas on, however did, and went to bed, covered up, went to sleep. She's still on the floor crying. So during the night, she left Earth. So when he got up early in the morning, for some reason, he did, he works like not second shift, but in that area of second shift, right? You don't have to get up until about 9 or 10 o'clock, something like that. But he got up early around 6 o'clock because maybe he'll talk to her or she'll talk to him or something like that. But she was stretched out on the floor. She was gone. She had committed suicide. So what happened is now he had to report it and everything. They tried my brother for murder and gave him a heavy time. A heavy time. So it was like, who was right, who was wrong? Well, naturally, she was in the wrong, but should he have said something or talked to her, mentioned to her? Like, she never came downstairs, I guess because she was just so outdone. And how long has she been doing this? But like, they had just talked about this recently about what's going on, togetherness and all this stuff. Anyway, so he's faced now with some years in jail for murder that she committed suicide behind. And another situation about that is like this other couple. They had two children, like about a 3 or 4 year old little girl there and a little boy. So anyway, the guy used to put the baby to bed, put the little girl to bed, put the kids to bed, whatever, you know what I mean? And they taught the kids how to pray. Well, in both cases, they were both like church people, church members, right? So to speak, right? So anyway, this little girl, the daughter, used to pray because they had taught kids how to pray. Like, now I lay me down to sleep, that kind of stuff. But this girl would pray that she had a prayer. Then she said, bless this, bless that, bless mommy, bless daddy, bless grandma, and goodbye, grandpa, right? The next day, the grandfather passed away. So, the course of time, so the husband, like, the daddy, like, well, what's going on here? Anyway, so then the daughter praying again one day. God bless this, bless that, with mom and daddy, and goodbye, grandma. Sure enough, grandma passed away the very next day. So, course of the time that he went to put her to bed again, and here come another prayer. But she like praying every night, but still, it was a noticeable type prayer, right? God bless mommy, goodbye, daddy. So the guy was upset now, like, wow. But he didn't ever said anything to his wife about the little girl's prayer. So he's like all day long on the edge of this. He was paranoid and everything else, thinking that this is gonna be his last day because he know this little baby has been praying and things was happening, right? So he's like stayed at work, so around people, you get jumpy, this, that, other. So around he stayed at work this time until around midnight. He stayed out of the house after midnight, right? Anyway, so he came home. So the wife said, you're running late. What's going on? He said, well, I had a hectic day at work. So she said, well, it was hectic here too. He said, oh, what happened? She said, well, an old mailman came up here. He had evidently they changed the route for him. And he died on our front porch. And the man said, oh my God, oh my God. Not telling his wife, but the daughter had spoken, goodbye, daddy. So what we're saying now is that so many times things happen when you're into betrayal and infidelity. We are having sex unprotected, doing these different things. There's consequences in so many places, so many things that we do, not thinking about what's going to happen afterwards or what's going to happen even before or whatever. You know what I mean? So sometimes we think about doing these things or don't want to do them. So we're going to put them into some different categories, different situations, and then bring them to you so that I want you to maybe like think about these things, comment on, comment heavy, all right? Send me some message. I put up my phone number so you can call me, talk about these different things. Because see, this is serious. Between 60 to 80% of people in relationship cheating on each other. This is more than it's ever been. Ever been. And just imagine, out of 100 people, up to 75 to 80 of them are going outside the relationship. And mostly are our females, our ladies. Why are we cheating so much? Why are we even cheating at all? Because maybe you say, can you blame it on society in a way? Can you blame it on social media in a way? Then again, can you blame it on communication with all these different technology and all this stuff the easy access to communicating and talking to each other? Or can you just blame it on that not being prepared? Are we really, really thinking about these things when we are in our daily life? We don't hear too much talking about infidelity. We don't hear too much talking about betrayal. We don't hear too much talking about that until just lately and recently. And then when we say doing it now, because it seems to be an expected thing. It's so expected that it's like, so what? It's not a so what, but it's an expected. It's like, well, person get married. Well, I wonder how long this is gonna last. Maybe a year, maybe not a year. Sometimes not even months. One of them started cheating already. Why? And that's what we want to try to get into over the course of our episodes. Talk with me. I have maybe about 30 or 40 different situations that can come about where you say, well, this happened. But you can't put your finger on it because it's not really for everybody. But there's categories. Categories. For one category is that, okay, we'll take lust. Okay, well, we just use lust as an open all thing situation. Lust is a desire to have something. Just like with how you say when somebody, temptation. When you look at somebody and like, wow, I have a desire for them. And that's why another reason why they said it's best that a woman prepare herself, and then to close herself with a situation where she's not really being singled out. It's like a target. You know what I mean? So she don't want to wear a target on her back to shoot me. So stop wearing no clothes. Wear some clothes, cover up, boom, boom, boom. Loose fit. It seems to be like, okay, we'll put it to this way. Woman was made for a man, and she was made and brought naked to the man. When Adam saw her, he was excited, excited, right? Flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone. I call her woman, Eve. All right, now. So he was so excited that he got busy because he watching all those animals for how long that he was there. When God said, man should not be alone. I'll make him a helper or help me, right? So now he made her for that purpose. Because if she didn't look fine, he probably wouldn't have been paid any attention. But this is why we said now, when a woman is dressed provocative, she's dressed with appealing allure, she attracts that certain chemical reaction, emotional reaction from a man that says, wow, I want that. I want that. I desire that. So therefore, because if she was like, I'm just plain out, let's talk for real, right? If she was just a plain Jane, dressed like an old grandma, Gertie, however, right? No makeup, hair all matted and tatted, out there, the dusty. People don't pay her no attention. A man would, she could be right with the guys all day long, and they like pass right on by. She just working in there, working like a construction worker. Either another situation, and no disrespect for those who are homosexual ladies, or either she could be a stud. She's not appealing to a man as far as sex goes. She can put that do-rag around her head, put on them loose jeans, them loose pants, or however you want to call it. Bro, how you call it, Timberlands. And guys like, she my homeboy. She ain't no homeboy. She a woman. But then we'll that's another bridge that we'll cross when we get to it. But the point of it is that she is less attractive for sexual attraction. So that's why we always want you to say that when you dress to go out in the public, dress appropriate as far as, not have to wear a dress all the way down to your ground, like the nuns or whatever, you know what I mean? But let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Because of heavy makeup, that's one of the reasons why this bishop that's on TV was talking about the lipstick and painted up what he was trying to get at, and he should have explained a little bit more that if a woman put on what you call it, the basic thing, foundation they call it, little lip gloss, just make yourself look, hey, to accentuate the beauty on the outside as well as the beauty on the inside. When she's out there not flirting, not shaking it, not acting like she all that and everything, with regular casual, she is less of a target. I'm sorry. But then because when she is noticeable, those people that really prey upon women, rapists and stuff, she could be out there with that knit skirt on. You see everything, including that band-aid between her legs. Maybe 3 or 4 days later, this guy is triggered. He might jump on a little kid. He might jump on a grandma. He might jump on anybody because he had been triggered now by something that happened 2 or 3 days ago. His mind is wandering. His mind is working. So this is another reason why We got to be careful about how we dress and what we do, right? So then there's another situation come about, whereas a woman cheat because she's been coerced, guys are talking to her, she's been influenced, she's been persuaded. The guy don't tell her to take no for an answer, or either if it's a guy, the girl is hounding him, well, calling him every 5 minutes, blowing up his phone, showing up at his door, seducing him with how you said sexually in the window and on top of the stove and table and everything else, showing him things that he don't have need to show, because see, a man is responsive more than a woman, because of the eye, lust of the eye, lust of the eye, the lust of the flesh. But that eye see things that, like, wow, what is that? So therefore, he's more or less prone to see something, say something, and do something. Whereas a woman is more conscious about her mentality and her emotions. Whereas guys give her compliments and everything, like, you know, more than one compliment, 2 or 3 compliments, special compliment, show her some appreciation, show her kindness, and like all that good stuff, right? Next thing you know, she's getting comfortable. She feels safe, more or less. And then, boom, here we go. Things can happen. And then another situation we call lust, either greed. Well, greed and lust is combined because it's scripture based. I think it's in Peter, 2 Peter, right? About the lust of the world and the greed. So with that lust, she wants more. She wants to be seen. She wants the attention. So you can offer her the physical gifts and things. You can offer her the jewelry. You can offer her the clothes. You can offer her money and more money. Next thing you know, even she's married and been married for days and days and days. First thing she come up in her mind, well, my husband doesn't do this for me. I could use this and that and other. All right. Then there's another category where the woman may cheat, is that she wants to help her husband. Well, they've been together. Things are not working too good. He's been working long hours, making, trying to keep up with the home and everything, paying all the bills and stuff like that, so far, just scraping and struggling. So she's tired. She's rested. She's, like aggravated, more or less. She's bored. She needs comfort. So what happened is that she did like Abraham's wife did, trying to help God out. Well, she's helping the family out. Next thing you know, she's more or less, the landlord come by, the plumber come by, the electrician come by, the painters come by, and they leave blessed. And I think you can read between the lines. So she's helping the family out do that way. She had no intention of doing these things, but the situation that availed itself, the need for financial support, the need for emotional support, the need for validation would make her say things to her to lead her into that area of darkness. And then next thing you know, out of all of these different situations that we just mentioned so far, it could be different. It could be different. She might take that wedding band off. Then she started getting attached to the situation. Now we're into a full-blown cheating episode. Like some of the brothers were saying, that if she had told me once or twice, whereas she's tempted or swayed to different things, maybe he would have stepped up. But what I'm trying to say is that we have to look at a situation called preparedness. Preparedness, right? Women are more or less prepared to be mothers from a little girl up. They got the little dolls, they got the little teddy bears, and they call them their babies. I'm I'm sorry, ladies. I know you're a wonderful mother, but this has been going on for before I was born. A rag doll or whatever, give it to the little girl. This is your baby. You take care of your baby. So now she grows up. Her body's developing. Now, where does babies come from? Mama said, well, baby come from out of my stomach. You know what I mean? Well, what the baby get there? How did the baby get there? Curiosity now. All these things come to play on this little girl's mind. She might not think about it, but once that situation happens, when she started getting 10, 11, and 12 years old, she started feeling things. And feeling things is like, oh, now I'm seeing things. So therefore, are we really explaining to our children what's what, why, and how, and what, and the consequences and the situation? We must, by all means, explain to them, talk with them, and then develop them and be prepared to help them out through the situation. Okay. So therefore, wonderful people, these are just some of the things that we can do to help the situation. Communication is so very key. Preparing our children for to be grown ups, preparing them to be adults, and then when we see things that's happening in the family, in the relationship, don't wait until, oh well, she's been cheating for a year, she's been cheating for 6 months. A man should know his wife, or know his woman, however, because even in the scripture said that they got married and he knew his wife that nothing that she could do or feel that he's not aware of. Anything that's out of the ordinary, he's aware of. He's aware of the fact that she's been lonesome. That's why in the old days, the Jewish community would take off a year and be with their wife. They get to know each other. They know the pet peeves. They know them cycles. They know the ups and downs. So, you know what I mean? Consideration for each other. They know each other behaviors, all that good stuff. So when they see that things are coming out of the ordinary, they know when somebody's trying to pay attention to them. Yes, a woman will tell you in a heartbeat why she's looking at you like that. She just noticed that. But we, as the men, we don't notice that the guys be goggling and staring, you know, scan the environment. Look at what's going on. Look at who's looking at you. Look at who's looking at your wife or your children. Just, you don't have to stare them down, but take a note. Take a mental note of what's going on, how she's dressed, and her physique, and all that good stuff. Hey, when somebody say, "Oh wow, she's beautiful," and then they turn around and go about their business, all right, you pass. But I'm watching you. I'm watching you. So you know what I mean. This is how sometimes it can help. It can help, and a lot of times all these things can be wound up into domestic violence because of the jealousy. The jealousy. Can't nobody say nothing to her. Can't nobody say hello. Don't get no phone calls. But don't go off the deep end just because she's getting phone calls, but have a conversation. And then another thing too, that this is my thoughts and my ideas, my thought, my thing, right? Is that if she's having conversation Y'all should be able, man and a woman, should be able to look at each other's phone. There should be no secrets, because even in the Bible, Jesus said that whatever come in the dark will come to light. There is no secrets. He said, I will reveal everything, everything to you. So therefore, if things start to happen where she gonna get all bent out of shape and upset about you wanting to talk about looking at her phone, red flags. Obey those red flags quick, fast, and in a hurry. I would suggest that right here, right now. So therefore, so let us think about these things. Call me. Let's talk about it. Um, share this out. Let somebody know that just because she messed up doesn't mean that she out there being a slut, a prostitute, a hoe, or whatever you want to call them. They like some people trying to do on the air. No, don't, because you don't know the circumstances surrounding her making that mistake or making that move or making that decision. She made that decision sometime that she had no intention. And then the last thing I want to talk about right today is that those demonic spirits, we are in an era today, this day, that the evil one is sending demonic spirits to us left, right, and in between, in between, in between. And just because we start to act it up out of character, our behaviors jacked up, our emotions jacked up, we're not praying hard enough, we're not praying enough, or even sometimes we don't even believe in prayer, but somebody that knows about prayer to intercede for that person and talk with them. You see your friend or your friend's wife or your friend's husband, say something to him, because to see another thing too, while we're at that, when that wife jump on the husband, or either the husband jumps on the wife, you cheating, get out of my house, don't do this, oh, why you been doing this, why you messing with uh, the vows, you don't give no respect. All of a sudden now, your vows are so important. The vows to us been important day one, or even before, when you got to engage you, your vow was important then. Honor those vows. Teach each other to honor those vows. Have those daily prayers. Have those daily readings, affirmations, speaking, talking with each other. Letting it be known how much you care and love them, right? And then cover them with your prayers. Cover them with your presence, even, so that how you call that thing when they say the old folks used to talk about how when you have too much freedom, when the cat's away, when the cat's away, the rats will play, something like that. So anyway, that time that they have too much alone time. If you have to go out of town, call 2 or 3 times a day, or either until you can tell that when she's getting annoyed about you calling, but she shouldn't be getting annoyed about you calling. She should be glad that you called. And then, hey, how you say? If you have a suspicion, because we are suspicious type people all day long. It's not a fact about, well, you don't trust me, I don't trust you. I trust no one for me, right? But I'm not going to jack you up, put you down, beat you down, condemn you, and then criticize you for having a moment. But I'm going to let you know that I'm here for you and with you. But the consequences of your wrongdoing is going to be handled. It's going to be handled by somebody that knows what they're doing, because vengeance is mine, says the Lord. And once we get that on the belt, then when you mess up, then I'm going to say, look here, I forgive you, but I can't be intimate with you until reestablish that trust, reestablish that situation, and then have that, uh, you know, be renewed in the spirit of your mind, that we'd be have a renewal and renewal. So therefore, wonderful people, thank you for being with us today. And I hope to see you next week when we go into uh, episode 4. I'm going to bring you some more of these things about why we cheat. Okay? Uh, Not only say low self-esteem, be easily persuaded. Grief is another reason why maybe a man or woman can go off the deep end. Depression, all these things can happen. And then, how you say, addiction will set in and cause us to do things that really don't want to do. But unfortunately, it happens. We don't want it to happen. We don't want to be mistakes. And that's why we need to repentance. We need to get our mind squared away. And then have that adjustment in our spirit and our emotion. Control your emotion. Have that discipline. Discipline. Self-control is so important. That I had to learn the hard way. Yeah, I'm telling you. All right? But anyway, take care. Be blessed. Be blessed. And by all means, subscribe to my channel. Share this with somebody because it's very important. It's very important because we don't realize that this is the edge, the darkness, the dawn of a new day and a new era of darkness that's coming on upon this land. We're not going to be skipped through the tulips anymore. God is upset. He got to be. The Most High God is upset because he said, do not grieve the Spirit of God. And that's what we're doing. Because another thing too, before we leave, is that Jesus came to fulfill the law. But he is now the high priest. They took the priesthood from the Levitical priesthood. And now Jesus is the high priest. That's why he brought the New Testament in. And we are going everywhere else besides studying and learning the New Testament. All right? It's a lesson learned. But the point of it is that since he is the new high priest, therefore it is necessary for a change in the law. It's in the book of Hebrews. In the first maybe 3 or 4 or 5 chapters, right? You'll see it. There's necessary a change in the law since he's the new high priest. It's why a change in the Sabbath, a change in the situation, a change in tithing. He didn't throw the law out, but that was a change in the law. Just like with the adultery situation, fornication. Don't look at a woman, stare at her, and desire her. Right? So if you see something and it clicks in your mind, pray right fast. How you say? Take every thought captive to obey Christ. Think about it. You're thinking. Yes, you're going to look at it. You're going to think, but you don't have to stay there. Do not have to stay there and dwell on that thought. And sometimes those thoughts will come into your mind because you'll remember that, how you call it, red flag, the triggers, going to bring up some stuff that you was doing, the train that used to run. Jesus sees all our mess. Think about it. Before the flood, God said, I'm sorry, I repent for making mankind because all type of sin and degradation was messing around in those days. God sees everything. He knows everything. He knows about the blade of grass or the wheat before it goes into a loaf of bread. He knows about the snowflake. He knows that your fingerprint. Don't play God for food. Think about it. He sees the train. He sees you're upset. He sees the back door and the front door crossing each other, missing each other. He also sees everything. So therefore, you ain't getting away with nothing. All right. Take care. Be blessed. Be blessed and blessed. And I hope to see you soon and very soon. Like next week. Don't forget about Wednesday with 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Wow. Sorry about that. Eastern Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. And let's bring up some more of these uh, messages, more of these situations about why. So guilt and shame is another situation that we'll talk about. Okay? All right then. Take care. Be blessed. My wonderful friend, my wonderful people. Take care. And I'll be seeing you soon and very soon.